going to show you today how to make a mosaic for yourself at home. This is my home and this is where we make mosaics. Now before me is all the things that you're going to need to be able to make your mosaic. I've chosen today a little snail for our garden. Once you've unpacked your parcel, lay out all the pieces that you are going to use. You have an instruction sheet that'll help you, guide you to make the process easy. So you should have your tiles that you've chosen, any glass beads, a sponge, grout, an applicator, a pop stick for cleaning, a cloth for cleaning, and for the mums and dads, a screw and a wire to hang your piece. First thing to do is anything that is glass or mirror, we like to do that first. So undo the top of your glue bottle, and a small dot of glue is all that's required. We're going to use that as the center of the shell. Now, a snail doesn't have eyes, it has antennas, stalk eyes. And I'll show you that at the end. It's already on your wooden shape. First thing we do then is we're going to draw a little line of glue. Rather than one at a time, sometimes it's easier to actually put a small amount of glue on the line that we've drawn for you. Then taking very carefully, because sometimes they're sharp, taking carefully the mirror. Make sure you have the mirror with the shiny side facing up. Place them on the glue, just like that. Give them a little tap, and I'm doing them point to point so that you are getting a line of mirror in a little spiral form. Mirror is really a good thing to use in small quantities. You don't want a lot of mirror because it's not a colour. What you want is a very colourful mosaic. And the final piece goes on. Now if you want, you could also put a little bit of mirror on that line, but I'm choosing today not to do that. But that's up to you. You've got some extra mirror there that you can use for that. So there we are. That's the first part to do. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a little slime trail. Green slime, of course. So I put that on with my glue, and then I pick the little pieces. Now we call these shards. They are excellent for lines. They're also excellent if you were doing a bird, they look like feathers, or if you were doing a puppy or a cat, they look like fur. They have a lot of uses, even fish, like fish scales. So you can see how I'm doing this very quickly, very easily, just picking the shapes that fit the best. Always use the best looking shapes. Sometimes you'll get a shape that's got an end that looks like it's been cut off. That could be used at the end of something, but if it's in the middle, it may not be as nice. Okay, the next part, this is where what we're going to do here is we're going to scribble an area. And I know that you're all very good at scribbling, I'm sure. And you use the tip of the glue bottle to spread the glue. So don't sort of be up here with it and pressing and squeezing and blobbing, because that's a little bit too much glue. You only want enough glue to stick the tile. You don't want it swimming in glue. So there we have it. I've put all the glue that I'm going to need in the area that I'm going to put the yellow tile. Now you'll be doing this from the sheet that we gave you, because you coloured it in and told us where you wanted all your colours. So you're following your pattern. Interestingly, you have to try and look for the shape that fits the best. So that's why I've laid out all my shapes here. So I need a sort of triangle shape there in a way, don't I? So you can see how that sort of fits. Sometimes you've got to give it a little bit of a jiggle to make it go in. Trust that your eyes pick up the piece you need. This looks like a little bit more of a triangle shape. So I'm going to find a triangle and make it fit. Then I can go back to just putting in another piece. This looks like a little bit of a wobbly piece, so there you go. I think I can get that by doing that. So it's a matter of looking at the shape that you need to fit and then find one in all the pieces that we've given you in your selection of colour. See how I turned it around to make it fit the best? Our eyes are very good at picking shapes, what we need to use. You notice as well that I haven't got very large gaps between the tiles. They're nice and close together, but not touching particularly. What you don't want is to sort of have a piece over here on its own, because then if you're trying to piece up to it, you'll never make it fit properly. So always put the next piece in next to the other one. There we go. It looks like I'm doing it rather well. Now you can take your time doing this. If you want to make this a project that lasts you for more than a day, or you can stop after you've done the yellow and maybe let it dry and come back to it again another time. So now I'm doing the shell, but I just wanted to show you one thing to remember to make it easy, and that is, and this applies for all mosaics, is always do the outside edge first, because then you get a very neat edge and you can spend the rest of the time filling in. Now I've completed the shell, and there's just one thing I'd like to show you. Can you see that tiny little piece there, where my finger is? That came from some of the little tiny pieces that we will provide you, just in case you need to fill a small spot. Now we're going to grout. I'll be back in a moment. Now we've waited the 2 hours for our mosaic to dry and we're ready to grout. First thing you're going to need is a piece of newspaper, just to stop all the mess happening on your table. So we need grout, we need water, we need our sponge, we need our little plastic applicator, and we're going to mix it and clean it with our pop stick. Right, first things first, open the grout. Now you've got to be very careful here. We don't want lots of dust in the air. We're now going to add a little bit of water, not too much, just a little bit. It's like mixing a cake. Take your pop stick and start to mix. What we want is something that looks like toothpaste or soft butter. Toothpaste, I think you will understand a little bit easier. Now it's a little dry, so we're just going to add just a little bit of water, not a lot. We don't want too much water because we don't want it too sloppy. We want to have a nice consistency. So scrape down all those little pieces. If you're not sure what to do, ask one of your parents to help you. So I've mixed it up and stir it up just like you would a cake mix. Now we're ready to put our grout onto our piece. That's all we need. Wipe it off. Back there. Put it on our paper. Now you can use your hands. The grout is not difficult to use, and it's not poisonous or anything like that. What I'm going to do first is show you how you can just spread it easily like that. Just use your hand to spread the grout on the edge of your mosaic. Just like that. Fingers are very useful. Get in all the cracks. Make sure you cover everything up. Just smooth it. And this is why I told you earlier to give yourself a nice edge, a smooth edge, because you don't want at this point to grab anything. It'll be very sharp. There we have it. Now we've done the edge. Now with what's left in the bucket, we are going to put onto the middle of our mosaic. So we use our applicator, take the rest of the grout, scrape it out of the bucket, and using the applicator, just squish it in to all the cracks, just like that. It's really easy. You might need to hold on to your mosaic so it doesn't slip and slide. And that really is the grouting almost done. So I've filled in all the cracks, all the holes and all the gaps. And I've scraped it so there's not a lot of grout left on it. Once I've finished with that, I can run my finger very gently around the sides like that, which smooths the grout, gives me a nice finish. Now we have to wait about 5 minutes for that to dry before we can sponge it. Now it's been 5 minutes and our grout is now ready to be cleaned off. So grab the sponge that you have, and I've got a little bucket of water that I brought in, clean water. And all you need to do is dip your sponge in, get it wet, but you must squeeze it out as hard as you can. We don't want a lot of water on our mosaic. And just simply start to scrub very gently. You don't need a lot of pressure. Just start to go backwards and forwards until you can see all the tiles. So you're removing the grout from the top of the tiles and leaving it in the gaps. You can already start to see how it's coming. Now, don't forget we've got mirror under there. Mirror's a little lower than the tiles sometimes. So we just use our corner of the sponge to expose the mirror again. Just wipe it. Find all the bits of mirror. That's half the fun, is exposing out everything that you've grouted again. And there we have it. You might need to just run very carefully and very quickly your finger or your sponge around the sides just to smooth any little rough pieces. There we have a cleaned product. We now need to wait about 5 minutes again for that to dry. Okay, I've now got the cloth and I'm going to polish our mosaic. You can see on the tile there that it looks like powder, a bit of dust, and that's what we're trying to remove. Scrunch up your cloth into a little ball, hold it with your fingers, and you'll be able to polish, cleaning off as you go all the dust from the tops of the tiles. Don't forget your mirror. So I hope that was good fun for you. Here we have our little mosaic, all finished, all shiny. One last little thing to do though with our little snail. He does have antennas. And if you've got a snail, have a look, and all you have to do is bend them back and you've got little antenna. There you are, all ready to hang up on your wall. Hope you've enjoyed the experience. We hope to see you again. Goodbye now.